Hey guys, welcome back to Ascending with TiffTalks22. I'm so excited to be back with you guys. I feel like I haven't talked to you all in a really long time, but I am back and hopefully I can be a little more consistent. But welcome. If you have never joined me here before, my name is Tiffany. I am hosting this podcast as a person who is experiencing awakening and ascension, as a teacher of sorts, and just to kind of share with you my experiences around that. But anything spiritual, anything with growth and evolution, I'm always excited to share. So today, I want to talk to you guys about this statement that I know we hear often in the spiritual community. And I had a really awesome meditation session this morning, right? And it just hit me like a ton of happy bricks, right? But we hear this statement in the spiritual community all the time: clear out the clutter. So I wanted to talk to you guys about that just a little bit. And usually when we hear it, there's a surface level meaning. I do tarot. I do read tarot cards also. It has really helped me to evolve and to grow and to ascend and to do my shadow work and all of those things. And I'm actually going to be offering that as an additional service in the near future. I'm available for that if you guys need help with that as well. But the surface level meaning of clear out the clutter, right? We hear that term and we automatically think or assume, okay, I need to have a garage sale, or I need to donate some items. I need to get rid of things. We think of it on a materialistic basis, on a level of materialism, right? And while that is really good, because there is definitely an energy block when there is too much clutter. That statement, cleanliness is next to godliness. Absolute truth, right? Absolute truth. And God is pure, right? God is clean. So there is not like a need for a lot of stuff. And also having material things, all material items carry a vibration, even humans, of course. All things carry a vibration or have an energy. And so when you have a lot of it there that you don't need anymore, that is either malfunctioning or just broken altogether, or has a negative attachment or an attachment to the past that kind of keeps you in the past, it creates an energy of stagnancy, right? This is where you hear the term release the things that no longer serve you. It is very much in alignment with that, the physical. And you guys know my belief is that mind, body, and soul is all connected, and we are all one. We are all so very similar in ways that we often choose not to recognize. But we are one, right? We are all similar. And so it's like a connection with and between and through everyone and everything. This is absolutely my belief. So that's the first thing. If you hear the statement, clear out the clutter, you're going to think, okay, I need to get rid of stuff. And you do. You do. If this is something that comes up for you, trust me, there's a reason that it's coming up, right? But consider this. Consider that clutter can also be your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits, your relationships, situations, or jobs as well that no longer serve you. Why this hit me this morning, I was thinking about a lot of those things that we use, and we end up adopting certain coping mechanisms and whatnot to handle our emotions, our feelings, our stress, and our anxiety that comes with that. And then that coping mechanism tends to become a part of us. It could be overeating. It could be smoking, which it is for me. It could be codependency as well. I once heard someone equate anxiety. He just broke down the meaning of anxiety. He said anxiety, when it develops, when you have a panic attack or this fear arises, it is your desire to either be someplace else or to be experiencing, it's easy for me to say, experiencing something else, or doing or being something or someone else, right? And so I think about that often. That I don't even follow this guy anymore, but that particular explanation has really stuck with me. Pause. Sorry. That particular explanation, though, it's really stuck with me. And so I wanted to just get into that just a little bit. So these coping mechanisms that we develop, they are usually a direct reflection of the anxiety that we're feeling. And why do you feel anxiety? You feel anxiety because you don't want to feel something, because you don't want to experience something. It's like, I'm about to go on stage and I'm super nervous. I need a drink to take the edge off. That's because you didn't want to feel these nerves. I don't want to say what we should do, because that sounds like judgmental. But the better thing for us to do is to probably feel that fear, face it, and walk through it, right? That way you don't become reliant on a coping mechanism. But all of these feelings and these emotions and things that we run from are examples of clutter. So when you hear the term clear out the clutter, it is so much deeper than having a garage sale. It's so much deeper than cleaning out your closet. Even though, and I've said this before quite often, if you go to your closet, or if you have a drawer where you're just housing some things, it's probably going to be a direct reflection of the emotional baggage that you walk around carrying every day as well. So your doubts, your fears, any outdated beliefs, any negative things that you tell yourself that you have maybe accumulated on your own, or someone maybe said to you and you just haven't decided to not let it go, and you internalize their belief. Anything that keeps you stagnant, that keeps you from feeling a particular emotion, is going to be considered as clutter. I was having a conversation, and it's so hard because it's not something that we really are willing to get honest with ourselves about. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and I realized that, okay, our use of substances as coping mechanisms is so normalized that we don't even realize that that's what we're doing. Because as you know, well, I don't know if you know, but I'm telling you now, I do not drink anymore. I don't smoke weed anymore. I do still smoke my cigarettes every now and then. But I recently did a podcast episode on the solar plexus chakra. And I was like, okay, as soon as I'm done, well, we're never really done healing, are we? But as soon as I kind of work through these, I have a feeling my anxiety and my dependency on smoking is going to decrease, right? And that is true. That has happened. But I think that we are not willing to be honest with ourselves about it actually being anxiety, and we stay attached to things, people, situations, or jobs that we should be releasing. So my friend, this conversation we were having, my friend was saying, it's okay to take the edge off. He was really wanting me to hit the blunt. And I was like, no, I don't really want to. It smelled good though, I can't lie. I don't really want to, but it was a familiarity, right? It was a nostalgic feeling. It was a nostalgic smell. I don't really want to. I don't really feel a need to. And so it was just like, I'm transforming, I'm changing, I'm doing different things. And so I don't feel the need to do that anymore. And I was thinking about how I just stopped drinking alcohol, right? It just one day out of the blue, and my healing journey had already begun, but it was just one day out of the blue that is like, you know what? I don't like the taste of this. I don't want this. I don't like how it makes me feel. Because alcohol definitely lowers your vibration. But it just, like I was telling one of my coworkers, we had gone out for my birthday, and this guy bought us shots. And we were both just sitting there looking at the shot. Because it's like, I don't want this. Girl, I don't want it either. I said, the happier I get, the more healing I do, you have like less of a need to get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So, but we've normalized it so much. It's like, let's get fucked up. Let's get drunk. Let's do this or that. Like, no, it is all toxicity. It's all a level of us kind of camouflaging our clutter. That's exactly how I want to say that. Camouflaging our clutter. He said, sometimes I'm stressed and, the girls are loud and, this or that. So you have the nagging wife, you have the loud children. And it's like, I'm going to go outside and smoke. But it's not a need for you to do that. The actual thing is you don't want to be here at this time in this situation. And that is your escape. It's your escapism. It's your mechanism of escape, right? So you come out here, and of course you're sitting and you have your spiritual time and you're talking to God, but at the same time, you are using another coping mechanism to change the way that you feel, to avoid feeling whatever it is that you're feeling, right? So the conversation that we were having was him saying to me that it's okay to you, but it's okay to do occasionally. But if you are in a place of balance, if you are in a state of equilibrium, you won't need those outside things. You won't need a substance or a chemical or a spirit, alcohol, that is not natural to your human body, your soul essence, to alter the emotions or mood that you're in, right? And it's harmful to you. Let's just keep it funky. It is not, it does damage. Even if it takes a while, it does damage, right? So if you feel you need it, and I know some people are not going to like that I'm saying that, but that's also a part of being able to be honest with yourself and get tough and look at yourself truthfully, right? Even if you feel you need it, it's likely that you don't. It's likely that there probably are some things that you need to dig into your psyche to see why it is that you feel you need it. I remember probably about a year or so ago, I asked my friend after I quit drinking, I said, man, because in college, y'all, she used to drink a lot. Oh, God, she drank a lot. Like, anytime there's alcohol available, it's like, yes. Anytime there's weed available, yes. Anytime that you want to go have, yes, let's go have. Like, I took the opportunity, right? So I asked my college friend, like, did y'all ever look at my drunk ass and wonder, what is she numbing? Like, what is her pain? I remember being outside of Thirsty Thursday at the, look, first of all, the name of it, Thirsty Thursday at the Q House, right? And I was so drunk, like I was stumbling drunk. I was stumbling intoxicated. But I feel like in looking back now, it's really just indicative of the trauma and the pain that I was suppressing, the things that I had experienced, or the trauma that I didn't know that I was carrying, that I was numbing myself to, right? And this could be self-esteem, guys. This could be self-worth. This could be numbing your feelings of rejection. This could be a number of things. It could be abandonment issues from your childhood. It could be issues of stability regarding your root chakra from your childhood. Just a feeling of safety in this world. Any of those things are, reasons that we use. And so my friend tried to normalize it, of course, but my thing is this: if you have to come home and take the edge off because you had a stressful day at this job, there's something in there for you to look at. If your job is so stressful to you that it's hard for you to return to this state of equilibrium when you leave the job, there's probably an imbalanced connection there. You're probably working harder than you should be for pay that is less than you should be receiving. And if you feel like there's an imbalance in the relationship, then you need to cut it off, period. Otherwise, you're going to come home, and as a coping mechanism with having had this stressful day, you're going to numb that pain through alcohol drinking, drugs, or whatever it is, right? There is always, though, an underlying emotion to address, because everything connects and everything, we are like one, mind, body, and soul, right? So the next question is, well, when I'm feeling this way, what do I do? That is when you take the time to go within and take a deep look at why these things are occurring. Why am I feeling the need to do this? You focus on your breathing, and you just, first of all, now I am the last one, because I remember thinking like, that is so stupid. Like, what does breathing have to do with it? First of all, guys, wind, breath is symbolic of spirit. Holy Spirit for the religious people, God, connection to the divine for the spiritualist. So breathing, just taking the time to breathe in and out, is a divine gift. It is a divine, that's exactly how I want to say that. It is a divine gift. And there is so much healing in just simply sitting and breathing and paying attention to your inhaling and exhaling. Aspirations is what it's called, right, Tiff? Okay. Yeah. So please, guys, first of all, if you're feeling triggered, you may feel like I'm judging you, and that may cause you to feel triggered. This is not judgment. I am just really trying to provoke reflection. I'm trying to provoke your ability to heal yourself and to think and dig deeply, right? So, again, these mechanisms are really just the root of anxiety. It's you wanting to be somewhere else. It's you avoiding a feeling. Even smokers who can relate. It's like, okay, I need a cigarette now. It's usually because if somebody's getting on my nerves, I need a cigarette. If I'm extremely sad, I need to go smoke. Or even weed smokers, y'all know this too. I need to go smoke. Or, I'm anxious or sad or disappointed. It's like, I need a drink. Like, that is the root cause of it. I don't want to feel whatever it is that I'm being pushed to feel. And that is how trauma is stored. That is how emotions are suppressed and repressed, and that is how addiction is born, okay? It could be you having money problems. It could be relationship stress, again, job stress due to imbalanced connections. Any of these things. It could be a tough conversation we're supposed to have with our significant other. Like, well, let me get everybody relaxed first and have a drink. No, learn to restore balance naturally. Learn to restore your inner balance and your peace naturally, right? And it's like a lot of times we will say things like, okay, this job that I have that's stressing me out, but I need this job because I have to be able to pay my bills. You may need a job, but do you need that job? What would happen if you were to follow your passion and then every day didn't really feel like you were working? Then their stress level is going to be less. There's going to be less of a need for you to develop a coping mechanism. And it's just a win-win all around. But then again, here we go. We have this fear of moving on, this fear of failing, this fear of not being successful as our own bosses, where we stay in these situations that are toxic. And yes, jobs can be toxic, certain jobs, right? So here lately, the example that I have personal is that I have been smoking a lot. Like there's just been a need for me to go outside. Even now, I feel like I want a cigarette, but I think that comes from my anxiety regarding sharing this podcast with y'all. See, so what I'm doing right now, of course, I've already talked to Spirit, and they are giving me so much reassurance and support. So I am absolutely in the place and in the position that I am certain that I'm to be in. But there's still a level of anxiety to it. So instead, what I'm doing is feeling that anxiety. I'm feeling that fear, and I'm doing it anyway, But intuitively, lately, like I said, I've been smoking. So intuitively, I feel like in hindsight that it was me knowing, because of this cycle shift that is kind of energetically happening with everybody. I feel like it was me intuitively knowing that there was a major release about to come up in my life, right? And it's like I just could not calm myself. And so what do? You run to the thing that you're used to doing. And the thing that you're used to doing is smoking. It's drinking for some. It's sex for some. Like the way that we choose to cope can vary. But it's a matter of being honest with yourself. Do I really want to be with this person, or am I just needing to relieve some stress? Right? So then you have to identify and pinpoint the source of your stress. But a lot of times we don't want to be honest with ourselves about the source, first of all. So I knew there were impending changes coming up, and I've been smoking a lot to kind of calm my anxiety, but I wasn't really thinking about the changes. I didn't even see that deeply into things. I was just knowing intuitively that there was something coming up. And I feel like my resistance to this change and my refusal to see it was creating an anxiety in me that I was not addressing. Okay. So, there were kids over here. I had to pause for just a moment because, of course, you guys know I'm at my favorite place. I'm out in nature at the lake. But in order to restore homeostasis and balance and equilibrium in ourselves, within ourselves, without the use of these outside substances or these outside influences, it is very important to be willing to look at our junk honestly. And what is our junk? Our junk is the clutter. Our junk is the clutter. It's these emotions. It's these feelings. It's these thoughts. It's these things that we don't want to see or don't want to accept, right? So, yeah, even this morning with this podcast, like I initially recorded this and I was like, okay, I feel like I want a little more organization to it. But I wanted to record it to just make note of the things that I did want to touch on. And of course, nature speaks, right? So I was like anxious, like I wasn't gonna do the podcast. But then I felt the need to do it. That is another form of release, creative expression. So after I initially recorded this podcast just for myself, to sort of have an outline, I remember taking such a deep breath and feeling like I really needed a cigarette. Like, got that out of the way. You know, it was like a relief or a release. But I didn't need to smoke. There was no need to smoke. I let that go because it's like, no, Tiffany, sit with yourself and figure out why you feel you need to smoke. It was like I was fearful of this recording, and once I got through it, there's a relief. So because the release has happened and homeostasis is restored, why do I really need to smoke? So I chose not to, right? You can have, that is another way, again, of releasing anxiety, is from creative expression, right? So this could be communicating, it could be drawing, it could be painting, it could be singing, it could be dancing. Whatever your gift is, whatever your talent is, however you choose to express yourself, which is why journaling, which is why journaling is also very, 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 very beneficial. Because instead of storing that energy and keeping it trapped or suppressed or repressed or however you want to say it within you, to get it out in some way, even if you're not speaking to the person that you want to go off on, just getting it out of you is going to do your body a world of good. There is healing in expression, which is why people say, social media ain't the place for that. Well, no, it may not be, but expression is the healing medium. So it's super beneficial for whoever is sharing to share what it is they're sharing via social media, be it a blog or a vlog or YouTube or whatever. So like I said earlier, this is not for you to judge yourself, or it's not for you to be hard on yourself. This is just for you to be reflective, right? Reflective of the reality of it. Because that's one of the hardest things that we deal with, being able to look at ourselves and unpack our junk. So be sure that you are being patient with yourself and forgiving of yourself and kind to yourself. Be as kind to yourself as you are to other people or other friends who would come and share their problems with you or their issues with you. Talk positively to yourself as you would to those people, because until you know to do things differently, until you know to do things in a better way or to handle things in a better way, you don't know. So forgive yourself just like you would forgive anybody else. I feel like there was something else that I wasn't hitting on that I really wanted to kind of go into just a little bit more. I definitely wanted to reiterate, like, I understand how difficult it can be. And it's really hard to release things that are familiar to us, especially during your ascension process. But it's going to allow you to not easily, because it ain't easy, it's difficult. But it's really going to allow you to maneuver towards your rightful divine path into divine alignment. I did want to share with you guys about a heart chakra meditation that I did this morning that was really helpful. Remember I told you guys that I was releasing. So I released a relationship recently. I released my attachment to it. It's in the past. It's an ex. It's an old situation. But this relationship was coming up for me. It's something that I was kind of still clinging on to hope for, even though I know that in its current state, it is not what's best for me, right? And so I feel like with the shift in the energy, I knew intuitively that this was going to come up, that it was time for me to actually walk away from this thing so that I can be open to receiving the new that I deserve and that I truly want, right? And so I did a heart chakra meditation this morning. I was guided to do that. And I'm sitting in this position and I'm holding my hand over my heart. And it was just a reflexive cry that started to happen. It was an emotional release, right? And I'm saying this to remind yourself to be kind to yourself, to hold space, hold a safe space and a compassionate space for yourself. This is not for you to judge you. This is for you to reflect and improve and for your growth, right? It is hard to ascend. It is hard to get into divine alignment if we're carrying things. And a lot of these things are subconscious. And the thing about subconscious is you really have to sit. You really have to have the intention of digging deep. Have the intention of being honest with yourself. But you really have to sit and go within and focus on you. And you're going to have to be brutally honest with yourself. Like, yeah, that is a fear. Or, yeah, that is anxiety. Or, yeah, that did make me sad. Or, yeah, I'm still holding out hope for this connection. You have to be willing to be honest with yourself. And you cannot ascend into your path of divine alignment if you have all of these bricks that are weighing you down. These bricks, what are they? They are clutter. So I'm inviting you today to just be willing, right, to do that. Be willing to clear out the clutter. Okay? So the next time you hear somebody say that, in a tarot reading especially, but even in the spiritual community, don't think surface level, think deeper than that. It is definitely about repressed emotions. It's definitely about stagnancy creating beliefs like, I could never do that, or I'll never have enough followers to do that, or, oh, I'm not confident enough for that. Those are all limiting beliefs. Those are all clutter. Clear those things out. Release those things. And if they're there, they started from something. So be willing to look back at what started it and let this thing, this person, this situation, this experience know that you choose to, goosies. Y'all, if y'all don't know, when I'm doing my tarot readings or channeling or whatever, goosies is my confirmation from spirit. I usually get goosebumps. But be willing to let whatever the thing is know that you're not going to allow it to continue to dictate how you move forward onto your divine path. You're not going to allow it to control your life, especially if it's a past experience. It's like, okay, what happened? Did it hurt? It absolutely hurt. Was it painful? Yes. What was the lesson? Look at the lesson and then be willing to release it. I release you now and I take my power back. Okay? So, wow. My goosebumps off the chain right now too. So, that's just a way for you to handle that. And it's going to help you to move away from releasing addictions. Ask yourself why you feel like you need to smoke. A lot of us have a hard time. We're so busy. Like, I need to move. I need to go do this. I need to go shop. What are you avoiding feeling by just sitting and being quiet and sitting with yourself? Are you avoiding possibly thinking of someone or thinking of something or having these thoughts of doubt creep in? Then you need to dig and have those things happen and figure out where they came from or why they're there. Okay? Guys, I really hope this was helpful. I hope this helps you on your journey to clearing out the clutter. I hope this enlightened you a little bit. It was just really like an aha moment for me this morning where it was just like, especially when the tears started rolling, I was like, wow, where was that from? You know, there's a lot of clarity now in hindsight, which is when all this came as far as, oh, that's what it was. I knew that this relationship was having to be released. Like, on the surface, I didn't think about that. I'm like, I'm over him. I moved on. No, I think I was still holding out hope. But with the cycle change and with me wanting to move forward, I feel like there was an astrological pull for me to dig deep. And this is what surfaced, right? So, be willing to ask yourself, how is it that I can clear out the clutter? What is it that I need to do? What is it that I need to look at? What is it that I'm refusing to see? And these are all terms that we hear in the tarot community a lot, but I don't feel like we really know or we are really expecting people to do the work that goes with actually completing the task, right? So anyway, I love you guys so much. I'm so appreciative that you listened. If you made it to the end, I hope this was helpful. I hope it's enlightening, and I hope it helps you on your journey. That is my goal in anything I share. I actually had not, you guys may know that I don't really post unless I am divinely guided to do so, because I want anything that I share to have meaning. I want it to be helpful for me, for you, for us, for humanity. And so I don't just post off the fly because it's like, oh, it's Wednesday, I need to post something. No, I need spirit to guide every action and every step. I literally consult my spirit guides for everything, and I'm very happy to do so. I'm grateful for the ability to do so. I'm grateful for my gift, and I'm grateful for your presence. So anyway, thank you guys so much for ascending with TiffTalks22. I hope this was helpful. Bye-bye.